All right, these are my last words that I'll be able to share with you this evening. I would like to, first of all, give Shabir a little something. I started this tradition back at Biola University in 2006. I was a bigger man and had a darker goatee then, and his entire beard was black in 2006. As I mentioned that. He's had some stress recently, evidently.
From actually with you?
Actually, I think both of us have just recently become grandfathers, and we're pretty much close to the same age, too. So, looking forward to writing a book with him. I want to give him, I gave him a whole stack of books that first night. I'm going to give him a book that proves that I have a heart. This is my second most popular book, and it's called Grieving Your Path Back to Peace. It's on dealing with loss, and I wrote it as a hospital chaplain, so I hope you'll find it to be a useful book.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Shabir. Thank you very much. Now, very, very quickly, I have very little time. Let me just respond to one point that Shabir just made, because I think it's foundational to everything else we do. He just said, well, look, this is why I embrace the liberal view of the Christian scriptures and not a liberal view of the Quran, is because I've found there are 9 places where there's been a copyist error in the Bible. Okay. I wish I could project this, but this is an image I myself took of BNF 328A. This is one of the earliest Quranic manuscripts in the library in Paris, France. And right down here, very clearly, it can be examined under ultraviolet light, infrared light, etc., is a clear textual variant. Something else has been scratched out, something else has been written in its place in a different hand. Interestingly enough, as a result, and I showed these things to Yusuf in our debate, here a little bit later on, an entire page has been cut out. There's the remnants of the page. And on the next page, you can see that they had to squish things in because an entire verse has been added in later in the book. So there's a textual variant in the Quran. There's the manuscript. You can go examine it yourself. So does that mean I now have the right? Because, well, there's errors in the Quran, therefore I can embrace liberal views of the Quran, and I can come up with the idea that the Qibla was changed later on, and that means it was 705, and I can do all that kind of stuff because of a textual variant? Do I now have the grounds to do that? I say to you, I do not. I do not. That is not how you do this. We still have the example of using different scales. We're not allowing Paul to speak for Paul. We're assuming relationships that have never been proven, that these other people are just following Paul. Even assumes that Luke doesn't buy all of Paul's theology, as if Paul is trying to force him on this. I would really suggest to you all, Shabir mentioned a very good Christian scholar by the name of F.F. Bruce. Read his book, Paul, Apostle, the Heart Set Free. He recommended him, so I'm going to recommend him to you. Read Paul, Apostle, the Heart Set Free. And you'll find that if you just simply would be even semi-fair, you would have to discover that the entirety of the presentation that starts with the assumption of the error of the Bible is based upon sand. What do I try to say to you this evening? That there is a consistent, beautiful, biblical message from Genesis all the way through to the book of Revelation. From Genesis to Revelation, you have the fact that God is just, God is holy, His law has been broken. But the wonderful thing is, He is always the one who provides the means by which we come to Him. He rejects it when we provide the way. He provides the way to come into His presence. And I'll finish with just one story. Remember Jesus? He talked about the people who were invited to the wedding feast. He said, go out into highways and byways, compel them to come in. And then there's this weird aspect of the story. Jesus says the head of the wedding comes in, and he finds a man who doesn't have a wedding garment. And what does he say? Bind the man hand and foot and cast him out into outer darkness. Why? Because you see, if you invited people into the wedding feast, you had to provide them with a wedding garment. And if that man was there, it was because he had rejected the very means and the very provision that that person had provided. He had decided to come in a different way. And Jesus' point was, there's only one way into the presence of the Father. There is only one way of having peace with Him. And we can't come up with another way. He's provided that way. And He's proven that way in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. That is His testimony, that Jesus Christ was the Messiah, that He was the Son of God, and that He accepted His sacrifice upon the cross of Calvary. The resurrection proves God has accepted that work of Jesus Christ. That's what I proclaim to you this evening. Thank you for your attention. May God bless us all.